They don't think you could do it, but tell you to try when they talk all I hope had to keep it alive. Spend a day in the Bronx, but you wouldn't survive. Can be low when I pop out, they know I've arrived. I go have conversations with Zoe, he gon' tell me pull up and come say what you know. I've been up, I can count all them days in a row. We don't say what we do, we be making the show. They say I'll be
the voice of the Bronx. We have Bronx Slam with the guys that are out here. Can I get a yeah?
Leave them all right where they at. Try to diss me, I bet I don't even react. Put a show on, I bet you somebody gon' I pick me a book up and drink me some water, invest in the stock.
Low water damage.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. But listen, man, welcome to another episode of Conversation with Zoe. You know, peace and love world. Hope everything is great, healthy with everybody. Listen, man, make sure you go get your copy, man. You deserve to be rich. It's important for us, especially us people of color, to educate ourselves, especially on something of financial literacy. But like I told Rashad off camera, this is a part 2 of a part 3. You know, welcome, my brother.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Thank you for being here. Shout out to my guy B, making it happen, as always. Thanks. You know, but today we have Rashad Bilal, a father, an entrepreneur, Earn Your Leisure, EYL University Network, Invest Fest, and Kids Earn Your Leisure as well. How you feel?
I'm good, man. How you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. You know, life changes when you take a day off to work to still work. You know what I'm saying? It feels good, though. I'm happy to be here, you know?
Facts.
I remember I met you guys outside of WTF about a year or two ago, and I waited. Like, he told me y'all was going to be there, and I waited, and I went up to y'all. I'm like, you know, I don't got a mixtape for y'all, but, you know, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm glad I kept doing the work, and I got to this point. This means a lot to me today.
I appreciate it, man.
You know, you guys during COVID, man, I was addicted. I was listening to 2-3 episodes a day. You know, you guys, because you guys, at that point, you guys were at like episode 100 when my mans put me on. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my guy Lester. So I went back and I listened to everything. And then I got to current day. And then you guys were just, anything that happened with 360 deals, Turo, whatever it was, I was like, the information was right there. So I thank y'all for that, for real.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
You know, so I want to get to a few things, right? So, do you need a lot of money to invest in stocks?
No, you don't need a lot of money to invest in stocks. You can invest in stocks with $100. You can invest in stocks for $500. That's the good thing about stocks. Unlike, like, let's say real estate, you're gonna need a little bit more money to actually buy a home, right? You can't buy a home with $100, but you definitely can buy a stock with $100. You can start investing. So that's one of the good things about it. It's a low barrier of entry. Mm-hmm. So you definitely don't need a lot of money to invest.
Right. Is it cool for children to live a good life, but you leave them nothing when you transition?
Nah. I mean, I think that's the whole point, is actually leaving something behind. You know, right. Have it better than what you left it. It's like anything. Like, you go into a room, you should leave the room better than you found it. Like, you know what I mean, you see something on the ground, pick it up. Like, just help. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the mindset of anything in life. So, especially when it comes to your family, like, you know, you want your children to have more opportunity than you had.
Yes.
A better situation than you had. And then if that continues and their children hasn't, so now it's like each generation just keeps leveling up.
Right. Should every parent have life insurance?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's important, you know, as far as, once again, that goes back to the legacy standpoint, just leaving something behind. If you can't leave anything else, you could definitely leave a life insurance policy, right? If that's the only thing that you leave, that'd be helpful.
Right.
You know, because everybody's going to pass away, and you know, hopefully you pass away before your child. You don't want your child to pass away before you. So being that, you know, you're going to pass away before your child most of the time, they're still going to have something to bury you. They're still going to have something to carry on. If you got, you know, debts, if you got a property, they got to maintain that. So, yeah, it's important to make sure that you're leaving that, you know, those funds behind, for sure.
Right. So these next two things, I heard you say it on a show, right? So it says you really have nothing to lose when you have nothing to lose. All right. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, a lot of times we just operate out of fear, and we scared, and we overthink things. But like I said, like, I feel like if you're closer to zero more times, then you're closer to the number that you're trying to get to. So if it doesn't work out, then it just doesn't work out. It's not that big of a deal, right? Like, I feel like if you got the whole world on your shoulders, and now you got, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars, now you got to move a certain way because you got a lot to lose. But if you really don't have too much to lose, then that's actually a good thing. You could look at it from as a standpoint of you could take more risk.
Right.
You take more risk when you don't have too much to lose. Whereas if you got a lot to lose, now that risk is going to be different.
Right.
So I think it's all about how you look at it. So if you look at it from that standpoint, like having not much is actually a blessing from that standpoint because it allows you to be more aggressive, take more risks. Because if it doesn't work out, it's not like you didn't really lose anything.
Right. You can't do a good deal with a bad person.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely believe that. Like, as far as character, that's important. So a lot of times people look past somebody's character or they see them do something to one person and they be like, all right, well, that's not me. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be different with me. And I feel like, 9 times out of 10, it's not.
Right.
So that happens all the time. People kind of look past different things in a person's character or how they treat people or different, they might be dishonest in one thing and they see that and they're like looking past that because they're like just trying to do business with the person. They trying to just, figure it out. But yeah, I definitely believe that. Like, whoever you are is going to carry over to the next situation. So if you can screw one person over, you're going to screw me over too.
Right. What are some things that you notice that would make you not want to do business with somebody?
Just that, somebody's not honest. Somebody has poor character. Somebody treats people, badly. Somebody is a thief. Definitely a thief. Like, can't do business with a thief. Those type of people I try to stay away from.
Right. I saw someone say that he doesn't do business with men that cheat on their wives.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really get that far into somebody's personal life. Like, I'm saying? I feel like that's kind of more of a, when I'm saying as far as like if you could take money out of somebody's pocket or you could make somebody sign something knowing that with their signing, you kind of twisted it and you're misleading them. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's more on the character flaw side where I just can't kind of, I guess that could be, that's definitely a character flaw too as far as that, but that's more so on like a personal relationship.
Right, yeah.
I really don't like to get into people's relationships too much.
Right. So I got to put you on the Slice of Excellence. That's my nonprofit. We trade report cards for pizza. This is our 5th year going. We do pizza parties every month in public schools across the Bronx, but perfect attendance. And every 3 months, we do it for report cards. So our signature event, this is my favorite time of year, we have an event called Pick a Teacher, Pick a Sneaker, where students nominate their favorite teacher and they go sneaker shopping together. And it happens at Up NYC, Fat Joe's sneaker store. And the cool thing about it is I actually met Fat Joe in the street 3 years ago, and we spoke about it. And we done it. This is our 3rd time doing it. So we're going to Harlem this year. So I'm excited to go to Harlem, Duke Ellington School, and make a lot of people happy.
Shout out to you, man. That's fire, man. That's important to educate and to inspire. Everybody needs some level of inspiration. So definitely, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to Joe for putting that together. That's major.
Absolutely. So what does assets over liabilities mean to you?
An asset is something that adds value, so it could be an investment. Like if you buy a stock and that goes up, that's going to be an asset, Bitcoin or real estate, but an asset also can be a person. That's, like is adding value to your life, whether that's in a relationship, whether that's a partner, an employee, somebody that's there for you, somebody that, doing things that you can't do, somebody that's giving you information, somebody that's, introducing you to somebody. That's all asset. Liability is something that takes away from you. So, if you buy a car, right, like that's going to go down in value over the course of time. So that's not something that's going to add to you. It's going to add to you as far as helping you get transportation, but it's not going to add to you like as far as making you money, like over the course of time. 9 times out of 10, right, you buy whatever, some clothes, like it looks good, you can wear it, but, it's not like that's going to be worth more in the future than what you paid for it, right? So a lot of this stuff that we spend money on, it's a lot of liabilities, and people could be liabilities too. Once again, going back to the relationship, you got somebody that's negative, or you got somebody that's trying to take from you, you got somebody that's constantly asking you for something and not pouring into you, then that's a liability. So, the assets over liability goes multiple different ways, but everything in life, that's how I look at it. Either it's going to benefit you, which is an asset, or it's going to take away from you, which is a liability.
Right. I mean, your network is just as important as your net worth. So I found these two these two things that you wrote on Threads, right? So it says, top of the top, always remember there's enough money for everyone to eat. The goal is to buy freedom just like the old days. Stay focused on that. Everything else is a distraction.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I feel like, yeah, you know, it's so much stuff that's going on. If you look on social media, you get torn in 8 different directions, from like political fighting, and then like, you know, it'd be a music thing, and then it'd be like, you know, you start going down rabbit holes. Before you know it, you've been on Instagram for like an hour.
Right.
And it's like, what did I even get out of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did I get out of this? But that's what it's designed for. That it's designed to keep you on the app.
Right.
So it's like you might, you know, see a bunch of different things, and that's just true of life, right? Like a lot of the stuff that we put a lot of energy into is a distraction. Mm-hmm. So it's like, focus on what's important, focus on your goals, focus on what's going to take you to the next level. Everything else just block out. That's the hard part, just trying to stay focused. Like, you know, people say all the time, stay focused, but that's important. Like, if you're not focused, you're going to go in every direction possible. Right. And before you know it, it's like, damn, what did you accomplish?
Right. Until the lion tells his story, the tale always glorifies the hunter.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, you know, that's an African proverb, and I think that speaks to the continent, but that speaks to everybody, as far as like anybody that's, you know, been oppressed or an underdog, or, you know, didn't have an opportunity to tell their story. The story's going to get told for you, you know, and then people believe whatever is told. So that's important, to be able to tell your story. So that's even, you know, we have new age media. We got, you know, podcasts, we got, you know, Instagram, we got YouTube. Now we're able to tell our own stories, as opposed to having people tell the stories for us. So that's important. Like, you know, until you're able to write your own history is going to be written for you.
Right.
And the history that's going to be written for you is never going to be favorable to you. It's always going to be slanted. It's always going to be, you know, biased. It's always going to try to depict you in a negative light 9 times out of 10. So that's important.
Right. How do you deal with the negative slander?
I mean, it's like anything in life. You know, if you want to be successful, you're going to have critics. That just comes with it. You know, so it's like, once again, staying focused. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's important. Stay focused and realizing that love and support always outweighs any level of negativity. Sometimes it just feels like it's more because it gets amplified, because people that's negative usually are more vocal. Like, somebody will support you, somebody will love you, but they might not necessarily comment, or they might not, but they just, so you don't necessarily know how much that really is until you like go outside, you do an event, and people see like, oh man, this is real. But, you know, like I said, that's just the way of the world. That's anything. People talk about LeBron James. People talk about Jay-Z. People talk about anybody that has achieved any level of success. There's going to be envy that comes with it. So, you know, that's something that if you're not prepared for that, then you just can't, you know, you shouldn't even try to seek that level of success, because it's going to come with it.
Right. Right. Speaking of envy, didn't he say he made EYL?
DJ Envy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, but we spoke. So that's in the past, though. We know we had a good conversation. So shout out to him, shout out to Charlamagne, the Breakfast Club. But, you know, people say things in the heat of the moment sometimes. But, you know, that's what being a man is, as far as being able to have a conversation later, and you know, addressing certain things and bringing up certain things and having conversations. So yeah, he you know, we had that conversation, and that was like over 1.5 years, 2 years ago. So yeah, we way past that.
Right. So I found your oldest Instagram post that I could find, right? And this one is important because, you know, I work at a school as well. But it says, I complain about what's taught in schools to Troy Millings daily, and I told him I would never set foot in the high school classroom ever in life. As a result of being tired of my rant, he gave me a class to teach. I always knew he was a genius. So once a week for 6 weeks, I'll be teaching financial literacy class to rising high school freshmen and sophomores. First day curriculum was the spend, share, save exercise to see what their plans were for their paycheck they'd receive at the end of the summer.
Yeah, for sure. That was, we used to teach a financial literacy class in the summertime for a program called Crossroads in our neighborhood. And that was the start of that. That was like the first class. And we taped all of the classes like on cell phones, and I would put the content on social media, just kind of like, you know, documenting that whole situation. So that was like I guess that was the first one. I remember that post. That was the first time we did it. So yeah, that was like probably 2016, something like that.
2017.
Yeah.
And why were you frustrated?
No, I just felt like, you know, as far as a lot of things that you learn in school is not really relevant to life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're learning about things that you're not going to ever use in life for the most part. And then the stuff that's actually really important, you never know about. So it's like, what's the point of even going to school if you're going to learn about things that is not going to be helpful and beneficial? So I feel like, you know, school should be something that is going to prepare you for life. And if you're not getting taught finances, that's like one of the most important aspects of getting prepared.
Right. And where were you at in life? What were you doing for a living at that time?
I was a financial advisor.
Mm-hmm.
So I was helping people out as far as like life insurance and college savings plans for kids and, you know, investing in like mutual funds, stuff like that.
Right. And how many bags did you have to blow to learn your lesson?
You know, you always make mistakes. Even currently, you know, you still make mistakes. Like, you know, it's I don't think that you ever really stop making mistakes. Because if you stop making mistakes, that means you know everything. Right? And nobody knows everything.
Right.
So, you know, life is about mitigating the mistakes, not making huge mistakes, like learning from your mistakes. That's important, learning from the mistakes of others, but still make mistakes. I don't even know the answer to your question. I'm not sure the answer to that number, but I'm sure a lot. Right. Small, big, and still, like I said, still learning.
Right. So I want to segue a little bit into InvestFest, and then we'll go backwards. But I've never been to InvestFest, but one of my favorite parts is seeing Kevin Riley and you guys bring kids to InvestFest. You know, with everything going on, how do you guys remember to incorporate the youth?
Yeah, that's important, man. Well, first you gotta come this year for sure, definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kevin and Riley, we do a couple different kids, but that's one of the things was Kevin, he's a councilman in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And he's been working with us for the last couple of years to bring kids from the Bronx to InvestFest. And, you know, exposure is important. So we want to expose young people to something like that, and just to, you know, travel, get out of state, you know, see highly successful people, be around, you know, 20,000 plus people. It's powerful energy. We bring kids from our neighborhood also. We brought kids from Atlanta. So we brought kids from multiple different areas to InvestFest, because that's definitely important for them to actually be a part of that. Sometimes we get help through different nonprofits or individuals, or like the city may give some help, and then we chip in and do whatever we got to do. So, you know, we just try to make it work. But as many young people as we can sponsor and help to come, we've been doing that for like the last couple of years.
Right. Yeah, that's super gratifying for me to see, especially because I work at a school, to see something like that happen. Kevin Riley is an alum of the show too. He's been on the show as well.
Shout out to
you know,
him,
so.
Man.
Definitely making our rounds for sure. So describe your childhood.
So we grew up in a town, like the next town over from here, where we at right now, is like the next town over from here. So coming from that, Greenburgh, a lot of people from the city, like, you know, you from the city, you think anything outside the Bronx is upstate New York.
Right.
That's most people think like that, like, you know, so it's kind of like an interesting dynamic growing up in Greenburgh, because it's like 25 minutes, 30 minutes from the city. So you're right there, but it's different. It's not the city. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not taking a train to school. You're not doing a variety of different things. So you get like that small town feel, and it's a very small town. Everybody knows each other. People are related. You know, everybody's a cousin and stuff like that. So, you know, it's a level of like community.
Right.
There's a level of community that we grew up with, and like I said, you really like one step away from the city, so you connected to the city. You go into the city, you know, play basketball, doing all that stuff in the city. You get in the city field, but then you get in the Westchester field also, where it's not the city, but then it's like a lot of the things that, you know, you might be going through, you're still going through, like as far as different, you know, having different temptations and staying on the course, staying focused on what's important, not, you know, not going down different pathways that could lead you in death, jail, you know, not being anywhere in life. So that's important. But, you know, for us, it was always a blessing. Like we had a community center. That's where we take the kids from that go to the Invest every year.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, we pretty much did everything there, played basketball, football, camp, all types of different things. Like, you know, just learning different things, having great role models around us, stuff like that. So even starting on your leisure, everybody that really started it, we all come from the same place. So me, Troy, our other partner, Mike, AB, he's younger than us, but he's from the town too. So, you know, it was a great place to actually have that level of like community and being around so many people that, you know, even now to this day still stay in touch with, still connect with, and we've been able to grow and build different things, build businesses together. So it's you know, a lot of different you know, experiences growing up, but I think that was like the best part of it, as far as like, you know, just having that close knit community, because you know, you don't really realize how important community is until you're in a community. A lot of people don't have community. A lot of people just kind of on their own,
Right.
just trying to figure it out. But definitely, you know, I think life is better when you're around people similar to yourself, and you're around people that's going to hold you accountable, and you're around, you know, really good friends and different things of that nature. I think that makes it easier, as opposed to just kind of being isolated by yourself.
Right. Yeah, I could definitely attest to that. You know, growing up in the Bronx, you know, we had a community. Our neighbors took care of each other. We was all eating each other's house, sleepovers, all of those things. We all looked out for each other. And I feel like now it's kind of every man for themselves, and it kind of shows in the things that we see happen, right? There's no respect for, you know, elderly women, you know, people letting it off in parks. And, you know, one of the cardinal rules is no women and children, right? And we've gone astray from that. So definitely I want to keep the villages going. And that's why I do the community work that I do, to show kids love, man, you know, and with no ulterior motive or none of that. You know what I'm saying? I just be having creative ideas and just be going for it, you know, so I'm going to definitely keep doing my part.
No, it's important. You need that, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So describe your high school self.
High school?
Yeah.
High school, all I really wanted to do was play basketball. I thought that was my first goal, was to make it to the NBA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't care about anything else except basketball, really. That was like my primary thing. So just playing basketball every single day, and just chasing hoop dreams.
Right.
You know, I left my public school after my junior year. I went to prep school for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in high school, that's all I really was on, which is playing basketball. Like, you know, wearing clothes, getting fresh and playing basketball, that's it.
Right.
I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do in life other than play basketball, but I always wanted to be in business, though.
Right.
I always loved business. I always, you know, thought that was just so dope to just, you know, wear a suit and you can make money and just learn about the stock market. That was like fascinating to me.
Right.
So I knew I definitely wanted to do something with business later on in life, but mostly, like most of the time, in high school, it was like the energy was just focused on sports, really.
Right. What prep school did you go to?
I went to two. I went to Winchendon Academy first in Massachusetts, then I left there, and I went to IMG Academy. That's where I finished up at in Florida.
Okay.
So yeah, that was like an eye-opening experience to go there, because IMG at that time, one of the best. It still is one of the best prep schools in the country, and
Right.
just really just having so much available as far as like the training staff, and like you train like a professional athlete.
Right.
So that opened my mind to a lot, and just, you know, living out there in Florida, going to school, you got the pool, personal chef, all that stuff. So that was like one of the first experiences where I really started to just think big outside of like, you know, what I was used to in my neighborhood, and I got to see like more of the world.
Right. And were you scared to leave to Florida, like, or that was like an easy thing to do for you?
No, I always wanted to travel. That's another thing. I always liked traveling. I always wanted to just get out and see the world and do different things. So when I had that opportunity, it was a no-brainer. Like, I ain't really, you know, it's like you kind of get bored just staying in the same place all the time,
right.
doing the same thing every single day. You know what that is. So yeah, I always wanted to just kind of move around and see different things.
Right. I went to prep school as well. I went to Southfield Academy.
Okay.
In Connecticut.
For sports?
Yeah, baseball.
Baseball?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to play 3 sports. I hooped and I played football there too, but baseball was my ticket in the door. You know, so that was eye-opener, you know, culture shock. You know what I'm saying? Coming from the South Bronx and then being in Suffield it was like night and day, but my life has never been the same. It was the best thing I ever did. You know, I got to relax. I think the main thing is I got to be a kid. Feel me? I wasn't in the Bronx. I wasn't around gangs. I wasn't around none of that. It's a different world. You got to navigate a predominantly white institution, but overall, it was amazing. Bill Belichick's son was my neighbor, so it was a whole different world. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But kids need that, you know, different exposure, diversity, you know, different cultures, you know, learning from different people, because you kind of know what you know.
That's a fact.
You know, and you don't know what you don't know.
That's a fact,
You know?
100%.
So then, how was our college recruiting process?
When I was in Florida IMG, I was getting recruited by a few schools, but I went to UMBC, so University of Maryland, Baltimore County. So it was D1 school, and I went there because I was going to have an opportunity to play right away.
Right.
So like right away, I was going to have, and I ended up starting like a couple games into the season, my freshman year. I ended up starting. So that was cool, but then that kind of went south. Me and the coach kind of had a falling out my second year. So I transferred after my second year. I went to Hawaii. So that was another
Oh, I saw a picture. I thought that was, you did go to Hawaii then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that I went there for 2 years. I finished up in Hawaii for my last 2 years. So that was another life-changing situation, because it's like, you know, going all the way to Hawaii, and now I'm seeing a whole different part of the world, traveling, going to like Alaska and California and Arizona, all the West Coast states, Utah.
Right.
So that was another, like, you know, just kind of major adjustment for sure.
Right. What conference is that?
It was the Pac West.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys fly to every game?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, so that was a lot of miles on the plane for sure. So that, like I said, but it was dope. That was my first time going. That was my first time going to LA. That was my first time going to Arizona, Utah. I don't think I've been back to Utah, but Utah, Vegas, my first time going to Vegas. We went to Alaska. So he was going all over the West Coast, like really the West Coast mainly,
Right.
all over the West Coast. So that was dope. Like to be in Hawaii was interesting. But then going all over the West, I had never been to the West Coast before. That was like my first time really traveling all over the West, and then meeting a lot of people from the West Coast, a lot of dudes from LA, a lot of, you know, Filipinos in Hawaii, and just, you know, learning the culture, and yeah, it was a different experience.
That's fire. And how were you as a student?
I was always a good student. I never really had to try too hard in school. I was always pretty, you know, good in school. So I was always like a B student.
Right.
Yeah, like even like all through high school and college, and yeah, you know, I always kind of was able to figure it out, know like the classes to take, and kind of like, you know, I never really struggled too much in school.
Right. You know, right now it's basketball season. You know, PSA basketball is about to start. So I tell my students, like, school, like, nothing should get in your way. If you love basketball or whatever you love, nothing should get in the way of you doing that. So you going to class, doing your homework and all that is nothing compared to what you want to do if you really want to do it. But all that being ineligible, that's whack, bro. You don't want to be ineligible. It's not fun.
100%. 100%. That's a fact.
Like, it's not it. You know what I'm saying? So kids got to tighten up. But what comes to mind when I say you deserve to be rich?
The book for sure. Shout out to everybody that got the book. If you didn't get the book, make sure you
Got
get
my
it.
sign, man. This is
Appreciate it.
saying, Troy, you got to sign it next, man.
Appreciate it. But no, I look at it from a standpoint of like, it's just like an affirmation. Really, like, you know, like you deserve it. Like, you know, just pushing people to believe it. Because before you can achieve something, you actually have to believe it.
Facts.
You can say something, but do you really believe it, right? Like, so that's the main thing, is like really just rewiring how people are trained, how they, you know, grow up, working class environment. You know, 9 times out of 10, your goal is just to kind of be something that was said is realistic for you. Like, I mean, like, you're not really thinking about, I'm gonna be rich, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. It's like, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna get by. I'm gonna get a good job. Nothing wrong with, you know, having a job, but it's like that's what's kind of your ceiling. It's like a ceiling that's set for you. So you're not even thinking about, you know, a variety of different things. So that was the first. That's why we titled the book that. It's like, we're gonna tell you all of the stuff, but if you don't believe it, it's not even gonna matter.
Right. And how's the journey been to get to this point? Like, do you ever feel like, man, it's over for us, and then something else happened, you keep going, but, you know, did you see all of this?
I saw a lot of it, not all of it, but that was definitely part of the vision. Even, you know, going back to the first Instagram post is why I started to, you know, tape all that stuff, and, you know, that was part of the original plan. But man, it's like you just take it one day at a time. Like, you know, it's like you can't get too high, you can't get too low. You're gonna have disappointments, you're gonna have excitements, but I think a lot of times people kind of when you get too emotional or get too like tied into it, that's when it's like, you know, you kind of have these ups and downs. That's crazy. So for me personally, I just try to just focus on the day, focus on, like, you know, just one day at a time. You got a vision to think about, like, you know, what's in the future, but, you know, just really kind of block out a lot of that and just kind of just stay on the course.
Right. How does your circle keep each other accountable?
It's like, you know, you got a job to do, you're gonna do it, or, you know, or it's just going, you know, you just get left behind after a certain time. So I feel like accountability is something that you got to have within yourself, like, you know, and then you don't want to disappoint other people. You don't want to disappoint yourself. So, you know, you got to do something. You know, you want to, you know, you gotta do it to the best of your ability. And like I said, if you don't, then ultimately, you know, it's not going to work out for you. But I think that when you're around people that's doing something, you want to raise yourself to that level as well. You don't want to like be the weak link. Nobody wants to be the weakest link.
Right. And then has the circle changed at all, or is still the same guys around?
No, it's still the same. It's still the same people for the most part. I mean, you know, you have different additions, stuff like that, but for the most part, the core element is still the same.
Right. And do you have any like bucket list people that you want to interview, or you pretty much interviewed everybody so far?
Yeah, not for sure. I mean, you know, of course, like Jay, LeBron, people like that on the business side, like Warren Buffett, you know, that'd be big. You know, then of course, like me personally, my favorite is Nas, so that would be a dope interview. But Serena Williams, like, you know, there's a lot of people, Michael Jordan, there's a lot of people that, you know, we still have not done yet.
Right.
Yeah.
I could see all those interviews happening too, you know, because it all makes sense too. Like what you guys are gonna bring out of them and information that they're gonna give, and it fits too.
Appreciate it. Appreciate that.
How does it feel to celebrate your birthday in Africa and New York?
Yeah. Feel good, man. You know, it's a blessing to be able to travel, move around. We've been spending a lot of time in Africa. So that was dope last year. Yeah, came from Africa. We did the Carnegie Hall on my actual birthday in New York. So yeah, that was just a crazy 48-hour time frame, but it was dope. It was dope. Like, you know, we got a lot of great relationships in Africa, especially in Ghana. So they, you know, our friends in Ghana, they threw like a birthday dinner for me. And that was dope, man. Just, you know, a lot of love, support. People just, you know, showed a lot of love. And then we came back to New York and had a time in New York too. So
right. Nah, it looked like a movie, you know, from what it looked like on the gram.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, you know, it's all love.
For sure. Is it so? This one is in. We got to get to this one. Is how Black people treat each other self-hate, ignorance, or both?
I think it's a lot, but yeah, two of those things for sure. You know, self-hate is definitely a major part, and in it for sure. For you know, some level of like dysfunction that goes into it for sure, and then, you know, ignorance is a level of dysfunction that plays a part in that as well. So yeah, I think those aren't the only two factors, but I think those are both of those factors play a part into that. And I don't want to categorize every single person
right
the same, you know, but, you know, some people definitely would fit that description for sure.
Right. What else would you say plays a role into it?
I think from a scarcity mindset, you know, not thinking that you have enough and somebody else might have more than you, so you know, that's going to lead to envy, that's going to lead to jealousy, that's going to lead to, you know, crab in the barrel type situation. I think, you know, just the structure that, you know, people understand in America as far as like you're not really wanting somebody to be better or more successful than you. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you kind of find ways to kind of, you know, derail or try to derail somebody's situation or for that. And, yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot. But, you know, I feel like, once again, though, it's a broad statement because there's a lot of times that people show a lot of support, show a lot of love to us, right, to a lot of other people as well. So it's not every single person that, you know, has that type of mindset, but, you know, unfortunately, some people do.
Right. I think part of that is accepting that it's okay to want better for yourself, right? And what I want for myself may not be what you want for you, but that's okay because we all on our own paths and journeys. Mm-hmm. You know, as long as we all ultimately figure it out, and that's the plan. But if not, then I'm going to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I need to do for me. Awesome. And, you know, if we rock with me, we rock with me. If you don't, you don't. But, you know, you can't let anybody stop your motion.
That's a fact. 100%.
If that's the case, I wouldn't have nothing. I wouldn't be here today if I listened to half the people that told me stuff. I wouldn't have Slice of Excellence. I wouldn't have the podcast. People used to make fun of the podcast all the time. And now it's the hottest thing on the block. Oh, you had Jim Jones up here, Dice Peso, Cassidy, DNA, Goods, like P, everybody you could think. And then when I'm getting into my financial literacy, now you Ian Dunlap, bro. Like, he's been on the biggest, you guys have all been on the biggest platforms. But we here today, you know what I'm saying? And that's a testament of my hard work and believing in myself.
Facts.
You know, because people don't, it's not your job to see what I see. Like, God gave me this vision, so I'm going to run with it.
Facts.
And as long as I keep seeing it, I'm going to keep doing it.
Facts.
You know?
Facts.
So, what does financial literacy mean to you?
Being able to, like, literacy is being able to read, right? So financial literacy is like being able to understand, being able to read when it comes to finance. So just understanding the language of finance. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, because it is its own language as far as understanding investing and savings and, you know, how to properly do taxes and all that stuff. It's like, you know, a whole ecosystem. So being able to navigate that aspect of it, being able to understand it, being able to, you know, benefit from it. That's what it means to me.
Right. Market Monday. You know, you guys have been consistent for many, many years. You know, what makes you guys keep going with Market Monday?
Oh, man, that's like part of people's lives at this point.
It is.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you watch Market Mondays, that's part of your daily routine. You either watch it live or you might watch the playback on Monday night, late night, or Tuesday or Wednesday morning, you know. But I feel like it's like a cult following as far as people that watch Market Mondays. Like, they watch it every single week. And you can't let the people down, you know what I mean? Right. And it's part of our lives, too. Like, we enjoy doing it. So no matter where we are in the world, we make sure we gotta do Market Mondays. Like, that's important. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just part of, like, our weekly routine. Like, at this point, it's just like, you know, at 8 o'clock on Monday, that's what we doing.
Right. How do you prepare for Market Monday?
Well, we prepare all through the week because we're always watching the markets, always listening, always watching news, stuff like that. But usually, like, you know, a few hours beforehand, Ian will send topics about different things. And then I might kind of, you know, add some things in, more like of a moderator for that show. And then we just go from there. It's not too much to prepare for because, like I said, we do it all the time. Right. So a lot of the stuff is just kind of like, you know, on the fly that we just feel like is important. We have some level of framework, and then we just go off from there.
Right. I feel like, what does your algorithm look like on social media?
My algorithm? Mm-hmm. It's a lot, probably like what everybody else sees. Like, you know, I see good stuff. I see bad stuff. I see, you know, a lot of political stuff. I see different things that's happening in the world. I see hip-hop podcasts. I see, you know, all of the stuff. All of the good, bad, and ugly. Like, you know what I mean? The nonsense, you know. So even me, I try to limit my time and stay focused because, you know, I'm going every direction possible.
Right. Do busy friends understand other busy friends?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I feel like when you see people have problems, it's probably because the other person don't got much going on. Mm. But it's like, it's not that I didn't want to call you back or I didn't want to answer. Like, this thing's going on.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you guys things going on, you understand, like, we're going to talk when we talk. but it's no love lost.
You can relate to it more. Yeah, no, for
Absolutely.
sure. Definitely.
You know, I know. Listen, when AB texts me, I know AB gonna get back to me. You know what I'm saying? And when he do, I gotta be ready. I told him, listen, I'm calling out. Don't worry about it. I'm be there. You know what I mean? So we're gonna play again. Go top 5 real fast. Right? Top 5 countries.
Okay. My top 5 countries?
You have top 5 countries.
I like, I mean, of course, you're going to put America in it. That's what, that's where we at. So, guys, stay here for the time being. The UK, I like the UK a lot. London, always good, get love out there. The UAE, just came back from there. Dubai, place is amazing. I'm going to go with Ghana, because we've been spending a lot of time out there as well. And always get a lot of love every time that we're in Ghana, for sure. And then the 5th country, I go Canada, because Toronto, that's a major market for us as well. We got a lot of love and support there.
Right.
So that's always been good for us.
Right. So hold on. So with Canada, right, that means you on the Drake side.
Yeah, I rock with Drake. I like Drake. I mean, I like Kendrick too.
Right.
So I don't.
One or the other, Drake or Kendrick.
I mean, it depends. Like if I'm listening to just music, just driving or in the club or just just for the vibe, then it's Drake, of course. Like
Right.
Drake that's like anthem.
That's his vibe.
Yeah, that's the vibe. If I really want to just kind of be critical of like breaking down lyrics and like in that bag, then of course I'm gonna go with Kendrick. But on the daily, I don't listen to music that much. But on the daily, I'm gonna hear more Drake than I'm gonna hear Kendrick, because that's just. You're gonna hear Drake in the gym. You're gonna hear Drake in the, in the mall, and Target.
Yeah.
You're just gonna hear Drake. You're not really gonna hear Kendrick as much. But I rock with both of them.
Right. Top 5 athletes.
Ever?
Sure.
LeBron. I would say Iverson. I would say Patrick Mahomes.
That's going.
Recently, Ohani from the Dodgers.
Ohtani,
yeah.
He's unreal. Unicorn.
Yeah, he's like the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's crazy
Sure.
what he's been able to do.
And the World Series was really exciting. Like, they had their back against the wall. Like, Game 7, shout out to Toronto for Game 7. And they also had their back, like, it was a lot of moments where you like, it might be over for LA. But they persevered.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. No, that dude is incredible.
Right.
And then Jordan, of course, Jordan.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a great top 5. Because, we got baseball and basketball and football in your list. So that's a great list. What are the top 5 stocks?
NVIDIA, TSM, Microsoft, Apple, and the 5th one, I go with Eli Lilly.
What's the last one?
Eli Lilly.
Eli Lilly.
Eli Lilly. It's a pharmaceutical drug company.
Okay. So I own 3 out of 5, so I'm doing pretty good. Top 5 rappers. You know what I'm saying? Business, sports, and entertainment. So we gotta include the rappers.
Ever?
And whatever your top 5 is, who's in your top 5?
Jay, Nas, Drake, Kanye West.
Yes.
And the 5th one, I throw Kendrick in there. Kendrick, I think he earned that. He worked his way up.
That's a good top 5. That's a solid top 5. And so Jadakiss not in your top 5?
Nah, shout out to Kiss. That's my guy. But
He's top 10? Hold on. Let's go to 10. We got to go to 10 at this point. Because you wore a Locks hat today.
Nah,
we got to go to 10.
rock with Kiss, Styles. That's the home team. But I mean, so many great rappers. You got Biggie. You got Pac.
3 more.
You got. I'm not a huge fan of his, but I respect his work. Lil Wayne.
Okay.
I think Lil Wayne definitely earned his respect.
He had a great run.
Yeah, he definitely top 10. Man,
We're into finance, so it's okay, guys. We're into finance.
And then there's people like that I personally rock with that I might like. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Rick Ross is up there. Honestly,
huh? Yeah.
Ross, people like Ross, T.I.
Right.
I mean Andre 3 Stacks. You know, as far as on some lyrical shit, like you know what I mean. 3 Stacks.
It be your own people that leave you. So I was watching the Waka Flocka interview the other day, and he ain't even put T.I. on his list.
Yeah.
But we in New York, and T.I. made the list over here.
I mean, for me, that was T.I.
Right.
was influential.
No,
To me, like I feel like when he first came out, it was just like he's on fire.
Yeah, facts.
He's on fire. But Kiss is definitely one of the greatest when it comes to, you know, just lyricism. But I feel like there's so many great rappers that it just kind of gets hard sometimes.
Right. I saw a girl on TikTok say that she misses the drug dealer get money music versus now we got the drug user music, and I feel like she's right. You know, because like they was like more like Jeezy is about getting money, and you know, and that's what they was trying to do. And now these kids just, you know, they're using them, they ain't selling them.
Yeah, I mean, neither one is really helpful. If you're being honest, because one's gonna put you in jail for 20 years, one's gonna put you in rehab.
Right.
So pick your poison.
Right.
But I definitely relate to that. Like as far as like even Jay, that was motivation as far as like when he first came out, and you know like he was talking about as far as like the Lexus and getting fresh iceberg stuff like that. It was more like motivated to actually get money. Cameron, Dipset, all of that. Like it wasn't so much of like actually glorifying taking drugs.
Right.
Which I feel like that's a lot that's been going on. Now, but there's still like a lot of dope music. I feel like that's not talking about that. Like I feel like the biggest artists, you look at J. Cole,
right?
You look at Kendrick, even Drake. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like there's a lot of music out there that does not fit in that bucket. That's still very popular.
Right. Very true.
You know.
Very true. So I'm a father myself, but what does being a father mean to you?
Oh man, it's a lot of responsibilities. It's it's just the opportunity to really kind of, you gotta, take care of another person, and try to guide them in a certain way, try to make sure that you're giving them the best opportunities possible. I think that's what it really comes down to, right? Making sure you're giving them the best opportunities possible, and then from there they gotta make their own decisions in life. But, you set them up, you try to set them up so that they can be successful.
Right. So seeing how your lifestyle has changed in the last, 5 years or so, 5-6 years, like how do you hold your kid accountable to like earning things or like you could buy him whatever he wants, but it doesn't mean he gets it.
I mean, no, you got to work for everything in life, and just because you want something doesn't mean that you necessarily should get it. So, I think that you don't really ask me for too much stuff like that's crazy. So, I think that's good as far as like just him kind of being more grounded as far as that's concerned. But yeah, it's just a matter of really just making people understand, children understand that, it's whatever you want in life, you got to work for it.
Right.
Not how life works. That's something that's just given to you. So by just giving something to somebody, that's not like, I don't think that's helpful. Right. Because you just, you're not putting realistic expectations on them.
Mm-hmm. I get it. And how do you get the 101 vintage Prada and all that stuff?
Oh man, we get a lot of stuff sometimes, just randomly. Like I might just be in a certain thing and just it's not really a set formula for anything. Right. It's just one of these things, man. Just networking, being in the right place at the right time.
Right. Yeah. I always look forward to what you're gonna say. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is, Silk Prada, from south of Aspen, But what is some investment tip for parents?
For their children or for themselves?
For their children.
Start early. You can open up a UTMA account. That's a account for minors. And it pretty much, you have control over it until they turn 18. And you can put money into it every single month. You can put money into the stocks. All the stuff that we talk about on Market Mondays, whether it's NVIDIA, QQQ, all those stuff. And then there's another way to invest, which is a 529 plan. That's for education, college, and that's to save money for their higher education, for higher learning, or even private school. So those are like the two major ways that you can invest. One's for just for education, and one's for just anything. But start with whatever you can afford monthly. Whatever you can put $100 a month away. Just great. Just do that. $50 a month, whatever you can afford. Just treat it like a bill.
Right. It goes into your budget.
100%.
So this EYL curriculum, right? How does the school go about getting a hold or buying, or how does it work?
Yeah, we've been working with Principal Travis Brown in the Bronx. He's been the one that's really been our liaison on the education side. We're in like 20 high schools right now in the Bronx, just like on a pilot program. But yeah, you can get in touch with us. You can get in touch with Travis. We're looking to expand it citywide. But yeah, it's part of the school curriculum. So, we been working with superintendents and principals in different schools to implement it as far as like a 6-week program, pretty much like a semester inside of the school year. So yeah, if you're interested, you could definitely reach out to us.
Right. And would it be like an elective, or would it count as a credit?
It's an elective, but it still counts as a part of the school like credit that you need to graduate. But it's an elective. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that. I feel like my school's in Dykeman,
okay.
But I feel like the kids could really benefit because they have you hear them that they have an entrepreneur mindset, right? They thinking about these things, they seeing these things, but nothing in their curriculum talks about anything about making money or business, or they look at me and they be like, yo, like Mr. P got a podcast, like, so I understand what they thinking totally, and I think you can have both. I think Monday through Friday, you go do what you got to do at school, and after school, you do what you need to do. But we all get the same 24, right? It's all about how you organize your time, right?
That's a fact.
So I understand them wanting to make content, but I also understand paying bills, education, getting a job, right? Having stability, right?
Facts.
So, shout out to the DOE, man, and keep the lights on. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Fact.
So yeah, I'm gonna definitely reach out, see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
I think my students will really benefit from that a lot. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Especially, we got a huge Dominican population, and that's a very entrepreneurial culture. So it's like a lot of them see their parents and family members having businesses, but they don't for sure like know how they fit in or have the information, right? So I think that'd be great. But the last 2 questions, man. What would be your message to your younger self?
Just do it. Don't worry about what somebody else got to say. Don't waste time. Don't procrastinate. But if you got an idea, if you believe in something, just do it right away.
Right. What would be your message to the youth?
Once again, just do it. Stay focused. Block out any negativity. That's important. I feel like a lot of times people do things when they're young because they don't want to do it, but they're people that they're around.
Right.
But you got to surround yourself with people that's going to make you go forward in life, not backwards. So that's vitally important. So many times in life, people is doing all kinds of different things. They wasn't really, that's not who they are as a person.
Right.
But that's who they were around.
Right.
So they ended up doing different things that, potentially ruined their life because of peer pressure.
Right.
So, just be mindful of that.
Right. Yeah, I tell my kids every day at school, man, you gotta run your own race, and if you don't feel comfortable doing something, then don't do it. And it don't make you soft or weak or none of those things. I think it shows more about your character for you not to go do something that you didn't 100% agree with, right? Because trust me, those kids be telling on each other. I'm saying they fold. And I'm just the dean, so imagine you with the federales and all that, right? What you gonna say then?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? I got my little CIs in my school. You know what I'm saying? They be putting me on. You know what I'm saying? Little chopped cheese get you far, man. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You want to go hang out with your friends. You need a few dollars. I got a few dollars. You got some information. Hey, we barter and trading over here. It works out. Everybody, hey, listen. I saved the Sweet 16 like that.
Oh, yeah?
They was gonna go jump the girl.
Oh, man.
My CI said, you get $20 today, man. You did good, man. I had to call Mom Duke, switch up the guest list and everything, but it was gonna go to him, And I went to Sweet 16 too. You know what I'm saying? Make sure everything was sturdy.
Make sure, yeah.
Yeah. And thank God, man, that father's side of the family was rough. You know, it probably saved them, but they would have got packed up, man. They wouldn't have made it. You know, so it's important, man, to stand on what you stand on. If you don't like something, don't do it. That don't make you soft. Man. That shows more about you in the long run, right? Because you see, everything is very short-sighted, you know, and kids don't see, like, who you are at 15. You're not going to be that person at 20 or 25. Like, you're going to see things differently, especially as a man and father, you know what I'm saying? So, listen, any shout-outs, websites, ventures, what we should be looking out for?
Nah, man, appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely,
first and foremost,
my brother.
man.
Thank you, thank you, man.
Keep going up, man. Appreciate it. Glad we got a chance to do it. And nah, man, just earn your leisure across all social media, any website, and that's all the information is there.
That's a fact. That's beautiful, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment. Listen, it's giving season. Make sure y'all donate to Slice of Excellence. We're doing great things. And shout out to Pick a Sneaker coming near you. At a city near you. We in Harlem this year. We out.
There you go.